Welcome to Bits of Torah. This year is entitled Daf Yomi San. Finishing off our little mini-series on magic. We mentioned the Rambam's position. We lean towards him as well, that there's nothing real to magic, avodah zarah, idolatry, sorcery, any of that stuff. We mentioned the Ramban, Tosfot, Gra, and others that very much do hold there's something to all this stuff. Halacha l'maisa, what do we do with all this? So the fact is, there's not that many ramifications of halacha l'maisa. Avodah zarah is asur, incantations are asur, machashiv is asur. In terms of halacha, both sides learn that these things are prohibited acts. The only question is anything to it? However, sometimes halacha l'maisa, there are practical ramifications that do come out of these arguments. Rambam says there's nothing to astrology, it's all ridiculous. You think that somehow an astrologer can know the future and predict the future? Nonsense. Ramban also says you shouldn't go after astrologer, even though they can really predict the future. Because it's Hamantim, Hashem Lakecha said, both you should listen, but there are some practical ramifications of the machlok between Ramban, and the different schools of thought. For example, Ramban will tell you, let's say you heard an astrologer talking and said, Danny Meyer, something bad's going to happen tomorrow in the corner of Hayardin and Hayakon. So you don't go over and you don't seek these people out. But you heard it already. You heard them talking. So the Rambam will say, come on. Of course you could walk in Hayardin, Hayakon tomorrow morning. It's so ridiculous. The Ramban would say, no, just avoid it. Did this way make its way into the Shulchan Aruch? The answer is yes. In Hilchot Avodah Zarah, the Shulchan Aruch does bring this down, and the Ramah quotes the Ramban. That if you heard that he said that astrology says something's going to happen to you in this place tomorrow, so best to avoid it. So it does creep into Halach a little bit. Another area which much more prominent is Ruach Ra. When a person goes to sleep, there's some Ruach Ra on his hands from the sleep. So, surprise, Rambam does not mention this. He doesn't bring it down washing 3 times in the morning when you wake up. Well, of course, others do. There's some Ruach Ra based on the Gemara. And the Shulchan Aruch certainly brings it down about Ruach Ra. No way the Minhag Klal to wash. And this is in the Shulchan Aruch. So there may not be, in general, that many arguments, practical arguments. It's more hashkafa and outlook. However, it does come up. And the simple pshat is that as Jews, we follow the Shulchan Aruch and the Ramah, the classical Paskin. So I think there should be a dichotomy. We have halacha l'maisa, the Shulchan Aruch, which one follows, each one according to his posik and his understanding of the Shulchan Aruch and the Ramah. And then you do halacha l'maisa like the Shulchan Aruch and the Ramah, the poskim say. And what do we have in our mind? How do we understand and look at these different things? And then you can be an argument of how to view these things. I think there should be a separation between the hashkafa, the theology, philosophy, and the practical halacha. Shalom.